Hey, it's been a while, but we are back. It's been about a month. We are back with episode 21 of Double X Download. As always, brought to you by Champion Cartway, Pitside Cart Supply. And I can't remember. I should have been watching. The what else?
Dust Pods.
Dust. Obviously, Dust Pods. As always, Dreamfield Cartway. We're gonna go with Dreamfield Speedway. We actually decided to go with the name on that.
Okay.
To incorporate more of the non-kart racing classes. I know we're going to run slingshots and possibility of micro sprints, 600 mods maybe. We're going to do some testing with those and see if the track configuration will work for them with those in the micro sprints. But we wanted to go with a name that was going to be a little more inclusive. So yeah. And also we got Brad sponsors.
We'd like to thank Liberty Carpet and Halstead, Snake Creek Marine, and our main one, Heinz Energy. Thanks for coming on board again, as always, and getting us through this 2024 season. It's about it for on my end. What's
Yeah, so
is it for sponsors? What's going on with you? It's been a busy month.
It has been a month. We'll start things off with the big not so fun news from the last few days. I didn't know Dale Plank, but Brad did. Brad's a dig shot guy, so I'll let Brad do a.
Yeah, we want to send our condolences to the Plank family, and Dale was an awesome guy, awesome support. I've raced for years. And definitely will truly be missed. So our condolences go out to the Plank family, and we're sorry for their loss. So.
Huge loss for the racing community. I mean, these dig shocks, they're on probably almost a majority of the cars that are out there on the track. They're on quite a few. That was a tough one. But
absolutely.
Yeah, but moving right along. We don't want to sit here and dwell on the negative, on the downsides of life for too much. But we lead one negative into another. Champion. Champion. A couple weeks ago, our kart counts have been weak to say the least to start the year out. And then the last race we ran down there was a couple weeks ago. We had 20 entries. We had to pull the plug on the weekly kart program down there. There's a lot of reasons in my head that I had for everything going the way it did. We got some neighboring facilities opening up, which obviously everybody loves new. We can't deny that had an effect. In hindsight, it's the rules package and myself apparently. I can't just throw the blame on other tracks opening up and stuff like that. Barry Goodman pointed out to me. He was the first one to actually do it and actually just come out and kick the horse right in the jaw and say, "Listen, you gotta." He said that about a year ago. It was right around the time I quit drinking, and I had a handful of other things going on. Some of it kart related, some of it not kart related. But kind of changed my personality a little bit, and apparently my approachability. People didn't feel like I was giving them the attention and consideration with some of their ideas and their thoughts and stuff like that maybe they deserved. Which I guess in hindsight that does make a little bit of sense. Part of it probably was the little bit of a personality change. And not that I'm going to quit, or not that I'm going to start drinking again. I've never said I'm done drinking for the rest of my life. I just put down the alcohol. I had some reasons for doing that. I'm sure I'll drink an ice cold Bud Light at some point in time in the future.
Bud Light is still a thing.
Well, Bud Light will still be a thing. People have short memories.
You might have to find it. It's getting harder and harder to get.
Well, regardless, and I've always been a firm believer in the quickest way to kill a class is let the racers write the rule book. I've always been a believer that if racers, and I still believe that if you let the racers write the rule book, they will shoot themselves in the foot. 99 times out of 100. But that being said, we did go to the dirty tire rule and went to the Reapers for the clones. And ultimately, the people that came to me, it was overwhelmingly positive about it, as far as numbers, total people. We had a few guys that did put up quite the stink about the Reaper tires and about the dirty tire rules. But ultimately, the reason for going to those rules was because we had stellar numbers for a couple of years, and then they started dropping off. And when I would ask guys why they were getting out of it, what the reason was, and it was almost universal answer: tires. They felt like they couldn't compete with like the budget guys. You got guys like Carmody that have been racing a long time. They know their tires. And then the dirty tire rule, the idea behind that was to basically you had to run the same set of tires all night. So showing up 25 sets of tires and all sorts of different preps and stuff like that was in theory that was supposed to do that. And a lot of guys said they were gonna pull their carts out of the weeds and come back. And ultimately, when it came down to it, all I did was pissed off my regular guys. And not too many of the new ones came back. We did have a couple. We did have a couple new carts show up that said that dirty tire rule was the reason. The Reaper tires, we still got guys complaining about it. Guys that aren't running them. I will say that our clone class doubled in cart count from last year. While we will ditch the dirty tire part of it, we are still going to run Reapers, but we're going to, future races, we're going to run an open tire class and a Reaper class. Both will be clean tires. Prepping will be allowed. Changing tires will be allowed. But ultimately, there's a little something for everybody. And for the Predators, we're going to run the sanctioned Predator dirty tire class, and then we're going to add a full prep clean tire. And guys claim there's still a lot of unsealed engines that are kicking around, and I guess we'll let them run in the unsanctioned class. I still don't like it. They had 2 years heads up on that one, but if it gets more carts onto the track, we can give them the last half of the season. We'll give them to use those up, and then going forward we'll make a decision on what we want to do going forward with that. But at last, as of until a half hour ago or so, as far as we knew, kart racing was Wayne, we have several tracks now that have started running them around here. I don't know if you Wayne is the guy, the Dust Pods guy.
Nice.
He is on here. Yes. We'll be using that. We'll be using it at my tracks. We are using it. Adrenaline Mountain opened up. They are using the product, and they have relayed to me that it is working well for them. So
Pencan,
did they pick some up?
Pencan got some.
Pencan got them. All right, cool.
And I believe that they have started using it now.
Hopefully they're using the discount code XX.
Yes, hopefully all of our buyers are using, and all of our watchers are.
Let Wayne know
using this. XX.
So yeah,
DOUBLEX.
Yep. Yeah. Spell it out. DOUBLEX. So just double X is the discount code. So back to the Champion. We assumed it was done when I talked to the landlord a couple Fridays ago. They said we just can't keep doing this weekly thing. I'm losing. We had so little income from that. I didn't even have the money to pay out the entire bills for the night, let alone the rent, the insurance, stuff like that. So I had to come on. Luckily the landlord he gets a lot of flack, but he didn't charge me any rent. So right. and he's helped me out the nights we had the nights we've had light turnouts. He's helped me out. So he's not a bad guy. He's, regardless of what some people think. That night that I talked to him, he was up in the air a little bit about what he was going to do with that track back there. The quad guys don't mind running on the stone dust, and he's got some speedway guys that want to test track, and we thought that was the route it was going to end up going, which would have ended kart racing at Champion completely. However, we've got Dr. Phil. Phil, I think he's pronounced his last name Scavone, something like that. But he's Dr. Phil, the Dirt Doctor, and he's got a bunch of equipment in there. And he was working on the track the last couple weeks that we raced down there, and the track was beautiful. The guys that weren't there they missed out. The track was, I know we had a little bit of one little spot down low in 3 and 4, but I could have easily moved the cones out, but it wasn't that bad. And that was just from all the rain we'd got. There was a standing puddle there, but that's been reworked, so that drains off now. They're getting the permanent lights up. They have them almost done, but they're hoping possibly to have them up for this weekend. But they'll be up, and then they did move there's a light pole just outside the back stretch. They moved that back about 20 feet, and they do plan to push the back stretch back quite a ways to widen it out and make the track a little faster, a little more sweeping corners. And he does plan on working the banking up. And he's got the equipment and the motivation to do it. He's down there, and he's spending his own money on a lot of this stuff. And so that all being said, the track will stay clay. They did run the flat track bikes down there last week and had a great turnout of those. And they're going to have even more this week apparently. So they've kind of decided that the clay is the way to go, which means kart racing will return. We're working right now. The first race when we get back, I haven't got the date 100% set for it yet, but it'll be announced in the next few weeks. We're going to start out with the Spic 66, which what I'd like to do for that is I'd like to run the 66 lap budget race and the 66 lap Ghost 360 race the same night. We're going to do lap sponsors, but we're going to do them a little bit different. We're going to spread all the lap money evenly through the field. So we're just going to take and divvy it up. But what we're going to do is we're going to take half of it, spread it through the field, and the other half we're going to give directly to Scott and Kay. Scott is currently hospitalized. He is fighting some very, very difficult health issues. So while he's working on that, they've incurred a lot of expenses. Kay's driving back and forth. I mean, luckily they're not going all the way out to Rochester. He's a little more local, but there's a lot of expenses, and so that's what we want to do to help them out. So that lap money, when we round it all up, we're going to give half directly to Scott and Kay. The other half's going to get spread through the fields for those races. So that's where we're at with that. Guess we'll jump right over to Dreamfield. I'll get the kart stuff out of the way before we jump over to the big cars.
Sure.
But Dreamfield is just about ready to go. We got maybe 2 days worth of work there. If we had all the material there, we just got to finish putting the lights up. So the lights will be coming from Champion. We were hoping to have them out this week, but they are working diligently to get the permanent lights up at Champion. So we'll take the LEDs that we put up last season. We'll take them down and move them over to Afton. Everything's wired, so all we have to do is mount them and plug them in. And the lights are done. We got a little more surface work to do. We got to get the stones out so we can get there's a lot of pebbles. I mean, it's pebbles. We got all the big stuff out. It's just a lot of pebbles. But if we can get our hands on some I-beam, then we can roll those right out and then stick the dust pods right to it. And the surface over there, it's good material to start with, but I know we get the dust pods worked in, and it's gonna be real good. And Brad has seen it. He stopped over and checked the track out finally.
Yeah, a couple times actually.
Yeah, and I'll just let you do the talking on that one because I can brag up my own stuff all we want. But
the track looks great. It really does. Like you said, just there's some surface rocks up on top, right on top of the surface, little small ones, nothing bigger than a golf ball really. So I mean that's not too bad. It's all carved out. The banking's in the track. Guardrail looks good. I like the catch fence. I don't know what's your plan with the scoring booth tower. Are they scoring from the top of that, or are they inside of it, or what?
We are planning on lifting it up. You can actually see pretty well from inside. But we do plan on. I'd like to pick it up at least 2 or 3 feet in the air. Just get them a little bit higher than the wall. We could possibly score from the roof. It's another possibility. That might be the easier thing to do than jacking an entire. I mean, the building's not big; it's only 8x8, but.
He's got a little scoring tower there, which looks good. I was just kind of curious about that. And he's got some bleachers there, which look great.
We got 7 sets of bleachers there so far. We got 3 more sets that'll be there at some point in time.
Yeah, so there's lots of seating there for spectators. Like I said, the track looks great. It's kind of paperclip shaped. Nice banking. The banking looks good. This one corner's kind of got a little more banking all the way from the bottom to the top. No.
Yeah, we're gonna try. We're gonna try
three
to
and
work
four. 3 and 4 is a little more progressive. There's kind of about a cart width that's fairly flat before it starts to bank up in 3 and 4.
Yeah, we're gonna work.
So
we're gonna work
cool.
1 and 2, so it's similar. So it's similar. Yeah, I just got a little more.
I kind of like that they're both a little bit different.
Oh, we're not.
It's
We're
neat.
gonna make sure they're not
I think
exactly
it's
the
cool.
same. But
I think it's cool. I like the shape and the banking that's in it right now. It's gonna be a pretty neat little racetrack. I think, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what the line
yeah,
turns out to be, because I mean it's
yeah. I haven't had a card on
it's
it
gonna
yet,
be pretty
but-
small, tight corner. It's the corners are pretty tight and the straightaways are pretty long. So I mean I haven't seen Lebanon Valley their track really like in person, but I kind of seen videos and kind of the way that it races, and I think it might be similar.
Yeah.
So there's some nights that the high side is the way to go at Lebanon Valley. So
Yep.
we'll
Yeah.
see.
We're,
We'll see how it races. I'm interested to see how it races. It looks good. Yeah, I think it'll be great.
yep.
Facility's nice, beautiful, real clean. Yeah,
Yeah. It looks
it's looking nice. It looks like a nice. He's got lighting up.
some of it. Yep.
Yeah, good. Well, and all the poles and the wiring's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
up there. So basically, all you got to do is just plug your light in when you're ready to go.
Yep.
It looks good. I'm pretty impressed.
Yep. Josh Bedine, what gear for Ghost? We're not gonna know until we put laps on it. Right
Yeah,
now, it's
I don't know.
very, very similar in size to Champion. I measured it out. Champion, the walls, the front stretch and back stretch walls, down towards 1 and 2 are 138 feet or 135 feet. So, no, 132, I think it was. 132 feet. We're 130 feet wall to wall, and the total length end to end of the track, we're at 260 at Dreamfield, and it's 275 at Champion. Track's a little bit wider than Champion, so but with more banking, you're gonna carry more corner speed. So I would say we're probably gonna be very, very close in gear to Champion. And I would say that for both we're gonna go with the 54, 54 to 59 rear for the Predators. I think that'll work good for them. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Practice. Zach Snow asked if there's practice date yet, so that's gonna be $5 for Zach Snow.
Yeah, another
His
$5.
Yep. Another $5. His tab's got to be up over close to $1,000 now. But
Well, that's your tab. You got a tab with him too.
yeah, I got a tab. Yeah,
If he asks us, it's $5 too. So
yeah, I charge him $5 also. So I know he's got
he's got a tab with us too.
Yep.
So.
But we are looking at practice dates. I did submit a practice date. It's probably going to be like a Wednesday night, because we're not going to run 4th of July weekend. I'm busy. I'll be out of town that weekend, all weekend long. The following weekend, Adrenaline Mountain's running, and while I don't think it would hurt them too bad, I still think some of it could. I'm all about the tracks trying to work together, and even running a practice against them, I just don't want to do that. Sunday, we'd have to, if we did it on a Sunday, we'd have Penn Can to deal with, so we don't want to pull carts from Penn Can. So most likely Friday nights are busy because the big cars are running. So I submitted a Wednesday night. The reason I thought about Thursday, but the reason being on that one is the penciled in date for the Spic 66 would be the next day, and I don't want to. It's a lot of rushing around. I'd like to give a little bit of a breather there. So, in fact, actually, I think that Thursday, I think Brookfield's running too, and with the slingshots, we want to give the slingshot guys a chance to practice before. So that's where we're at with that. And now, Brad, how's your last month been?
Well, it's been all right. Busy.
Got some good runs with the mod.
Couple of decent ones. Yeah. We shoot. I don't even really remember. It's been so long, and I'm on. You kind of get lost in the going all the time, and you forget about
about last week.
Yeah, you forget about last week's. We've had a couple rainouts too, which in the picture, so that kind of it throws you and you forget about it. But shoot, I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting messages from the neighbor. Turn the volume down, thing off. Anyway, shoot, I don't know. Well, the last race we ran was Tuesday, the Clash at the Can. Just things didn't work out for us that night, really. Finished second in the heat, which was all right. We got I don't know. I wasn't very good in the heat, and or really all night long. I kind of was using I'd go in and the car would slide, and I'd slide up to the cushion kind of, and that was my lifeline. That was basically how I could get around the racetrack the fastest, I felt. So anyway, in the feature, I was just I ended up getting stuck on the bottom. There was your cousin was on the outside, and I think he got into the back of Malcolm, and it checked him up, and he came back down across the track right in front of me, and I had to get on the brakes.
Oops.
And we were kind of both in the mud at that point in time, too. And, so 6 cars went blowing by me. And then I'm just I was riding around, and I could feel the right rear going softer and softer and softer and softer. And I'm like, all right, this is enough. So I pulled off. So that was that. And that was the last race that we ran. Well, before that was.
Let's go to the trophy night then. You took a trip out to Skyline.
What? No, there was no trophy.
Oh,
I didn't. No trophy that night.
Okay, well there was a W.
There was.
Let's talk positively about Skyline. I know we've been rough on them in the past, but ultimately they're opening. We don't want to see any track close. So,
right. Well, I don't know. I just call it a W, I guess, all you want or whatever. It was the unfortunate thing was, Skyline opened up. Myself and 3 other racers, modified drivers, went and supported them, and nobody else did. That was the unfortunate part of the W, I guess you can call it.
Yeah.
So we went and we ran a 20-lap feature, drew for position, and that was that. We, tried to do what we could for something, and so Brad's options were we could make it a practice, or, we would give your money back if you wanted to go somewhere else. And I said, well, we came to race. Why don't we do something?
Yeah.
So we came on when guys, most of the guys or whatever, the other 3 pretty much had just came to shake their cars down. Because they hadn't really been on the track, or they were trying something different. They were just kind of trying to shake them down. So I was.
Yeah, I think Dennis was doing
trying to breaking a motor or something. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't really very much, but we did race, and Brad was happy to allow us to race. It was good. The track was good. It just needed more cars. And from what I've heard. He didn't really get the turnout a second time, but I spoke with him earlier, over the weekend, and he was, I guess he had said that he had gotten some guys. So I mean, that's pretty much where it's at. We got to get guys to show up if we don't want to see the place go to the wayside.
Now, did they leave the track in the reconfiguration project that was started in the spring? Did they leave? I think they pushed the backstretch wall out, the front stretch wall out.
Yeah, the backstretch was the wider, and then I mean, it is still pretty much. I felt like it still kind of raced the same. There's more up there than what we could really get into.
Yeah.
It's banked pretty good around 1 and 2. and coming around there's like, I don't know, walking it. I was walking it. It could get pretty wide there. Coming off a tour, and I don't know. It just needed more cars on the track, really, to blow it out, or to move the groove out to really see. That's what I mean. That was the shame. I think it looks like it would be good.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he rolled the track and packed it all in, good for us and whatnot, but it kind of got marbly.
Yep.
The more and more we raced, and with only 4 cars, there's not enough guys to
blow it
off and move the groove out. So we were kind of all stuck to the Uke tires for the most part.
Yeah.
You didn't want to really get out in that stuff because you'd spin in it. But
right.
I think it was lacking cars, really. Unfortunately, that was the worst part about it. Hopefully some sportsman guys will be going. That place really did well with the sportsmen, and I know he'd say that Brad said that if he'd got 10 to 15 cars, he would pay the full purse. So hopefully, we can get the cars and we can get the purse, and hopefully we get the purse, we would bring more cars.
Yep.
I don't know if guys are really all stuck to their Friday or Saturday night tracks 100% yet, or if there's guys willing to try some stuff out. I don't know.
I mean, on the American Racer side of things, there's not too many people that are stuck to a Saturday night track.
Well, no, but I mean, they've either committed to not racing, or they've committed to racing somewhere else further out of town.
Yep.
Or they've bought Hoosiers and are racing Thunder on Saturdays.
Right.
Which Thunder's doing amazing. You look at their car counts, the pits are packed. And a lot of people like the racing at Thunder Mountain. So I mean, drivers, a lot of the drivers say they like the racing on that stuff, the slick stuff.
Yep.
We all know it doesn't make it slippery, and it makes for good racing, and makes a good driver out of you.
Take away traction, always improves the quality of the racing.
Yeah, I the racing's tighter, closer.
Yep.
And a little easier to make mistake.
Yep.
So it's more exciting to watch, I think.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. Skyline. I really hope that guys will go to Skyline, and give it a shot. I mean, that's really what it needs. It needs cars. Just needs cars.
Yeah.
And I know it's a hike, but we all got to start somewhere. That's pretty much it. We got to start somewhere. I don't know. I've offered a couple ideas to Brad as far as maybe just trying some Sunday specials or something with the modifieds.
Yeah.
And try to draw the sportsmen like they had, like the Skyline mainstay was the Crate Sportsman or Open Sportsman, or they'd run them both together.
Right.
And hopefully they can get some of that back. That was when you lost your core of support.
Yeah.
You got to get that back first, I think, before you can start looking at adding something bigger.
Yeah. Yep.
That's my opinion. I'd love to go to Skyline and race against more cars. That would be awesome.
Yeah, you've always been pretty good at Skyline, so.
Well, I've never won a big race there. I've won one 4-car modified glorified heat race, I guess you'd call it.
You didn't win a sportsman there?
I did not win a sportsman there.
You didn't win an IMCA modified there?
Did not. Lots of that place. That's one place that has come so close, but still so far. I've had a lot of really good runs at Skyline in the IMCA and the Sportsman both, and just one thing, just didn't ever park it there, or really flat tire leading or something.
Yeah.
Something would happen, or we just didn't quite get there, a second or a third, and ran out of time or something like that.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, I don't know. So I guess you could. I've won heat races, so I guess it's
Yeah, so have I.
check another heat race, a 20-lap heat race win. I guess
Did you know there's guys out there?
dash 20-lap dash for cash.
Did you know that there's guys out there that when you ask them how many races they won, they count their heat wins? And
No,
they just don't
I
say.
don't.
They're gonna say, "Oh, I've got 40-something wins," 3 A mains.
I
It's like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, heat race. I can't remember who it was, but I've had a few people that like who talk to me. How many races you on? And they're like 40-something. Like, you've been racing for 3 years. How? Well, heat races. I'm like,
I try to only count the races that either pay money or have a trophy.
Yeah.
That's if I don't get a trophy for a heat race win, then I don't really count it. Or if I don't get, I guess, a dash for cash, we'll call a dash for cash a win.
yeah.
Because you won some money. That's kind of what we did.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt Hayes, way to represent Dig. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, like I said, we wouldn't have, we wouldn't have some of the success that we've had, without the help of Dig, and just still saddened by it, of course.
Yep. But I guess we'll take some. We got about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes to 10. Actually, we've only been going for a little over half hour.
I was gonna say we've only been going.
That was a quick hour. I forgot we.
We got going a little bit late.
Yeah,
we were rolled in a little late from the track.
Yeah, so
it was kind of nice. We got. It was kind of nice. We did rain out this week. We had talked about going to Thunder, since we rained out Friday at Penn Can. Thunder rained out. Looked like the only track that really in the area or whatever, New York, got a chance really to get it in was Utica Rome. So
yep.
Utica made it in on Friday, and I think Fonda got rained out, Thunder got rained out, and then we talked about going. I was gonna get the car all together for Sunday's Pinnacle of Power race at Thunder, and I just decided. I'm probably going to... I looked at the weather, and I was like, I'm probably going to do all this work to get it switched over, and it's going to rain out, and then I'm going to be doing all this work again to get the car back for Friday, ready to go for Friday. And, we got a rain out, and the car's all together and ready to go for Friday.
That's about the fifth time that Pinnacle of Power race has been rained out this year, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy to have a little bit of break of working on the modified. I've been working on the Sportsman, trying to get that back together. We're pretty close with that. Got the rear end swapped last night. Got all that hooked back up again. Got the motor in, carburetor's on, water's full. I need to get headers back on it and a couple little things I can fire it up. Get the body back on it, and I think we're pretty well ready to race. Within tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow, tomorrow night. I took off tonight, working on it tonight. To do this.
Yeah, well, we were about due.
Yeah, that's right. We were about due. So it was nice. It was nice to get a little bit of break from, the grind. And after this, there's not a night that we have off at Penn Can on Friday, for the rest of the season. So a little bit of break before the big run, to finish out the rest of the year. This Friday's mid-season championship night. So, we're looking to do well. It's a point and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
It's championship points. They posted a breakdown on the Facebook page. So if you need to check that out, you can. But yeah, so we're looking to hopefully have another decent night. I'm sure everybody else that's running is looking to have another decent night, and
You think Nick Petrulak's looking to have a decent night?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure he's going to be looking forward to racing.
Glad to see he's got his health issues all figured out.
Yeah, happy to see the doctor gave him clearance to come back.
Yep.
Has he been watching?
I don't know if he is or not. But Corey Nabinger is. When is Brad Weaver coming back to the? Oh no. When's coming back to the carts? 212.
Oh shoot, I don't know.
When's Corey Navinger coming back to
Right.
karts? There's the real question.
When Corey Navinger starts prepping my kids' tires during the week, then I'll come back to kart racing.
Yep.
Or at least coming to my house and showing me how to do it. That would be nice.
Yeah, he's right down the road. I bet he can hear you when you.
Yeah, he
when
can
you
probably
fire
hear
up
me
the-
when I knock on the door.
Probably open the door. He probably doesn't even have to listen to the radio or listen to the
Right.
listen to the podcast. He probably just hear us talking. But
Oh. Yeah, that's funny. Sure, I don't know. If someone was to offer me a quality kart ride, yeah, I would love to race it. You know, I've done it twice with my own once with Brandon's stuff, once with my own cart that's now James's cart, and I did it once with the kid's father, Mitch's cart, who just picked up his first Ghost win. So
yeah, that was cool.
congrats to him. So that's actually first ever kart win.
Yeah,
So
that's
I think
right.
he might be pretty hooked now.
Yeah, he was always close in the budget, but
Yeah.
never quite got it done. But Corey's to stop by and he'll show you. Is that a negative on Corey coming out of retirement?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, come on, Corey. We got a great rules package for you for the clones.
Oh shoot. So yeah, that was cool. Mitch got his first kart win. James got a win at the Father's Day fun race, which was cool.
Yep.
It was a good race with him and Bryce Martin. They were back and forth pounding on not pounding on each other, but they were they were they were aggressive. They were racing each other hard. They didn't really bang around or anything like that. I shouldn't say that. They weren't banging, but
Yeah.
they were racing each other really hard, and James would make a mistake and Bryce would get up on him, and then Bryce would make a mistake and James would pull away a little bit, and they went back and forth like that, and it kind of looked like, if one made a mistake when the other didn't, I don't know, he could have got him. So it was an exciting race to watch. We had a good time on Father's Day.
Good deal. One of those races, one of those junior races ended in a dead heat down there.
Yeah,
didn't it?
the Junior 1 class. I tell you, it was a great race between brother and sister. Spencer Stanton, she was leading, and Xander, he was running her down. He'd get just about to her, and he'd make a little mistake and lose a little bit of ground, bobble a little bit, lose a little bit of ground, and come back, and they'd go back and forth. Last corner, last lap, going into 1 and 2, boys. Xander, he just sent her down in there, and they were right there next to each other, bumper to bumper, wheel to wheel, or side to side, wheel to wheel. They were like dead even. They were dead even coming to the line, and
I think
it
I
was
saw
too
a picture
close.
of that finish. And
It was too close to call. It was a awesome move right there on the last lap by Xander to pull right up alongside of Spencer like that. And that was definitely the best race of the night for sure.
Yeah.
That was so much fun to watch. So congratulations to both of them for winning. Brother and sister finishing first, both of them tie. Even that was so close you couldn't call it.
Yeah, I saw. Like I said, I saw the picture, and it was legitimately.
Yeah, it was so close. It wasn't a
dead 5 mile point tie.
No, it wasn't a 5 mile point tie. It was legit. So that was exciting. Shoot, I can't remember. I don't know. I think the last race for the big car, I don't know if I finished 5th or not. I think that might have been.
Yeah.
I know I finished 5th a few times there, and
I assume you're on the Weaver page.
no, I'm not. I wasn't following. Should I switch
So-
over and follow?
So slightly off topic, but any chance you watched any of the NASCAR race Sunday?
No.
We'll talk. I know people hate NASCAR, but I don't watch much NASCAR. I bet on it every week, but I just look at the results when it's done. But they were at New Hampshire, and they had the wet weather tires with them.
The wet weather
The
tires.
wet weather tires, the treaded tires.
Yep. Was this a road race?
No, this was an oval. This was New Hampshire.
Oh, New Hampshire. I'm sorry, I was
Yep.
pulling this
And
this up.
they and it rained. They brought up they stopped the race for a rain delay. It rained pretty hard. There was standing water on the track, and rather than there was only like 80 laps left or something, NASCAR could have called the race, and nobody would have really whined too much because it was apparently pretty hard rain. But they waited it out. They put the wet weather tires on because the wet weather, they're not really designed for running in the rain, but on a damp track, light sprinkle, whatever, they can do it. So they get back out there, and I was thinking at Tully's watching out of the corner of my eyes. We were at the anniversary dinner, so I couldn't show her that I was watching it.
Threw yourself under the bus.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
She knew. She was watching women's soccer behind me. That's
you go.
That's what I'm going to say. She was watching. But the wet weather tires, they wear out really fast, and they heat up on dry pavement.
Yeah.
And they're slippery. So the dirt guys felt at home.
Yeah.
So they were it was really fascinating watching those guys searching for moisture because they were faster in the wet than they were on the dry.
Right.
So you're watching the dirt guys sliding around the track, and they're running all over the track looking for every little bit of moisture they could. It was great. It was awesome to watch. Christopher Bell won the race.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Josh Berry wasn't a dirt guy, but I think he finished second or third. I know there was 2 Stewart-Haas cars in the top 3. But yeah, they put on it was actually a really fast. I wasn't sure what to expect with the wet weather tires. I mean, I was optimistic that it would be interesting just because the treads on asphalt are they're not going to stick as well as the
Slicks,
again
right.
take away traction makes for better racing. But it was fun to watch those guys, watch the dirt guys searching the track for moisture so they could pick up some speed.
Nice.
And,
That's cool.
Yeah, now I know that anytime I hear the race is on a rain delay, Nate Aldridge said wet weather tires every week, which I don't know 100% if that's the case. I don't think they use them on like super speedways, but for most of the tracks they do. They bring them. But I know anytime if I'm scrolling and I hear NASCAR's on a rain delay, I will be keeping an eye out for that race to come back because it's going to be interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't. We went kayaking Sunday and did a little bit of fishing. That was cool. So I really haven't gotten a chance to go fishing this year at all yet, and I generally like to try to get out. So that was cool. And the heck else did we do? Can't remember. Came back here, hung out at the house, and did stuff around the house.
And didn't have any race cars to wash. Didn't
have any race cars to wash. That's what I said. It was kind of nice to get a rain out.
Yeah.
It was been pretty darn busy.
Yeah, I know a break is good. I mean, that's one thing that like Champion with us stopping the weekly program, like it was weird to wake up on a Friday and not have to bust ass and get to the track and all that. So, and it was, watch the weather. Like that's one thing every Friday.
Yeah.
It seems like the last 2 years, last year, every Friday, check the forecast. Oh, we have a chance of rain. Is it storms? It's a 90% chance of rain, but it's like a passing thunderstorm.
Right.
And it's just in that grind, getting the track ready and it's just like, it was almost refreshing to wake up and go, I don't have to do this today. It's just getting that week off. So I went over and we worked on Afton all day on Dreamfield. And no drama tonight. Surprised nobody's brought. We're trying to avoid the drama, Tyler.
It's drama about what?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff we could talk about if we want to back up a couple weeks. It's been a long month, but we're not going to go there.
Well.
Yeah, I'm not. I have no interest.
I got a question for you though.
Oh, boy,
this is just not like it's not. This isn't bad or anything, or not. There's no bashing or anything here.
Okay.
But just out of curiosity, like as a racer, if you were interpreting this as you're still a racer, you're not a track promoter anymore. You're going to some place to go race, right? Uh, whether it be whatever, say the track's a half an hour from you,
Yep.
or an hour and a half from you. It doesn't really matter. Somewhere in there. And the forecast doesn't look good for evenings. Would you rather the promoter cancel early and allow you to kind of make other plans or do something else or whatever, or would you rather tow to the racetrack and try to race? Regardless.
Yeah, as a racer, I mean, when I first started racing, I wanted them to try everything to get it in. And then when we were young, then it was like if there was a chance of racing, racers would go, fans would go. I mean, I remember I grew up at Afton, and I remember if Penn Can rained out, I'd get super excited because we are going to get some Penn Can cars. You'd see Mike Colston come rolling in. You might see Brian Weaver come rolling in.
Yeah.
These guys wanted to race. They were willing to drive, but at that time, gas was $1 a gallon.
Yeah.
Pit passes were $20 or $25. I think when I started racing, they were $25.
Yeah.
So
they were when that's what it was when I started going.
Yeah, it's not a huge. It wasn't a huge expense. So I wanted, if there was a chance we were going to get it in, if there was a window, we thought, you look at the radar, it's like, oh, okay, it'll clear off by 7, and it'll be clear till 9:30. I think we can get it in. Let's race. And if they cancel, I'll be like, oh man. But now with gas being what it is and pit passes, for being $40, and especially if you're paying to get crew in and stuff like that, if there's a chance, or if there's a solid chance, there's a solid chance you're going to get wet.
It's 30, 40, 30 to 50, somewhere between 30 and 50% chance of rain somewhere in the evening of where you're going to be there.
30% I'll be there. 30% let's go racing. 50% and this is it's hard to say as a racer because I have been a promoter and I can give you figures on how much money I lose when there's rain, when there's a chance of rain, and how much
right.
I'm not gonna say how much money I lose, but how many, what percent of the drivers I lose, what percent of fans I lose. If I look at 3 apps and one forecast shows 40% chance of rain, I'm going to be down 15%. 15% of the carts, which means if I'm pulling 100 carts on average that year, I'm going to be at 85.
Yeah.
If 3 apps show 40%, I'm going to be down 30%. I'm going to be down a third of my carts, and I know the stock car tracks deal with the same thing.
Sure.
And you've got to be open next week, and it's not. You've got to look from a business perspective. I would rather take a week off and have the track survive, because a lot of these tracks, they're just scraping by anyway. On a good night they might make a couple
right.
grand, but on an average night they're barely they're not making money. And I know, because like I said, I've handled the insurance. I know what the what it is. And the other thing people got to realize is insurance. How insurance works at the racetrack. As soon as a tire hits the track, you have to pay the insurance.
Right.
Which means, okay, yeah, you got there, you got hot laps in, maybe some heat races, you rained out. Sorry, we're going to honor wristbands. We'll see you next week. Now you're going to have to pay insurance twice on
the same race.
And that's one thing I don't think a lot of people realize is you've got to pay double the insurance. And insurance is expensive. It's the biggest expense of a racetrack.
Right.
It's the biggest single expense. I mean, it's in the, for a kart track, if I get a good turnout, I'm paying $700 or $800 a night. The stock car tracks I know are a lot more than that.
Yeah.
And they get more, they get more people in the pits. The cost per wristband I know is a lot higher. I don't know what it is now, but I know it was like $8 5 or 6 years ago per person in the pits for your insurance cost. I imagine it's more than that now.
Sure.
And that's a huge expense. You're talking thousands of dollars. If you have a $7,000 insurance bill, and on a good night you're making $2,000, now, okay, you pull them down there, you get rained out.
Yeah.
You still got to pay that $7,000 insurance bill, but then you're going to let everybody back in the next week for nothing.
Yep.
And you're going to take, even if it's a good night, you're going to take a $5,000 loss. And we've got to keep these tracks open. And so for that reason, like I said, I know you said from a racer's perspective, but knowing what I do at this point in time, if I see 50% rain, if you look at
somewhere
even,
in the hours of your operating,
exactly.
the track,
40
where guys are going to be there racing.
Right, 40% is always the figure that made me sick as a promoter, because 40% you got a really good chance of getting it in, but you're still
got a good chance of getting rained out.
Yeah, you've got a good chance of getting it, but you've got a very good chance of losing a significant amount of money.
Or getting rained out.
Well,
again, you get that.
What I'm saying is, it's if you get it, the last thing you want to do is you got guys that are, you could have raced, and like I used to go, if I thought there was a window, I would go for it. When I first started, it is what it is, but it's a lot smaller scale on a go-kart than it is on a stock car track.
Sure.
And but now if I see if I'm running a big car track and I see like 50% is going to be my cancel. If the average chance of rain is 50% across the board, you
kind of
have to cancel, because you're going to lose. I mean, I'm not going to say 100% you're going to, but you have a 90% chance of losing your ass that night. Not just a little bit of money, a significant amount of money. And if it does rain, a huge amount of money. And so for that reason, I don't care how much somebody loses their mind over track canceling early. Save the drivers the money. And honestly, like running dirt, it saves a lot of washing and mud scraping and stuff like that.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I mean, ultimately, we love to race. That's why we do it. We like to go in fast in circles. Guys that own the cars, they like owning a car. They like watching their car going fast in circles. I get it, but at the same time, I can't knowing what I know now about how the racetrack business operates, how insurance works, how much money, the loss. I say, if you're averaging a 50% chance of rain across the board, or if you look at the radar, some of them will say, like, I've had apps where one says 20% chance, one says 70. I look at the radar and I'm like, we're gonna get wet. It might only be a passing shower, but if that passing shower gets a little bit bigger, we wash out.
You can lose the track.
Yeah, you lose the track, you're done.
Right. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen at so many places. I've watched rainouts. I've been at the racetrack and rained out. It doesn't take a long time to lose the track, especially if you've had even a little bit of rain throughout the day. 25 minutes of a good heavy downpour, 25 to an hour. Yep. You could lose the track really easy.
Yeah. And
so
Nate Aldrich brought up another good point that I'll touch on. It's an interesting question, because at your home track, rain check's fine to use it next week, but if you're traveling and get wet, you're not coming back the next week to use it. So the other thing that it does is, like, a lot of these tracks rely on, like, say 10% of is going to be the not weekly guys, the guys that they're hit and miss. Maybe, you're going to get none of them. Like, none of those guys are coming if you have 50% chance of rain. It's just, I'm not going to, there's always the oddball, you might, but you might get one. But
Afton cancels early or whatever, and then, you're probably not going to get too many Afton guys going to Penn Can with a 50% chance of rain.
Right. The only
there's an option for guys that could go.
Right.
They could go race Penn Can on a Friday, but with a 50% chance of rain, most of them are probably going to say, "No, I'm not going to go to that other track."
Take 5 crew guys with you. You're spending $200 to get in the gate, and you're not going back the next week. Then
it's a throwaway of $200, or you got to kind of ask and beg with the promoter or whatever, borrow, whatever with the promoter if you can get reimbursed.
Yeah, and they're not going to be happy about it because they know they're losing their ass to start with. So
I guess if for me, I'll answer my own question. Is I'd rather, I think if a promoter feels like it's going to be, a bad call or whatever, like it's most likely going to get rained out, and the radar doesn't look good or whatever, the forecast doesn't look good, I would rather cancel early and
head to Texas Roadhouse.
Well, I rather cancel early and go make other plans. It gives you, as a racer, it gives you an option to either find another place to race.
Yep.
Or do something else. Do something with the I spent a bunch of time with the family this weekend, which is we don't get to just do things as a family other than racing related things. Right. We get to do some non-racing related stuff, as a family, which was nice. You know, we could have gone racing. We had an option. We could have gone to Utica Rome. I would have loved to try that, but
Yep.
you know, we chose the other route, and there you go.
Yeah,
you know, but at least we had that option. You know, we didn't get there, get to the track, get everything all unloaded, loaded, you know, and spend $200 to get in the pits, get our cars all muddy.
Yep.
You know, and then not end up getting it in because it ended up pouring.
Right.
You know, it ended up pouring right when it said it was gonna.
Yep.
And you know, we had just come off another night like Tuesday. We'd just come off a night that it was raining and not very good. They only got 17 mods Tuesday because of the weather, I'm sure. You know, and yeah, I think it was probably a good call because it would have been, if we did, you know, we got that rain, it would have been another we're racing no matter what type of deal, and the track would have been probably subpar to everybody's liking.
Yep. Get done at 2:30 in the morning.
Get done at 2:30 in the morning, and then you've got everybody mad.
Yep.
At least if you cancel early,
Yeah,
it saves everybody from getting mad about the night.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You get two guys that are really, really mad on Facebook. And,
Oh yeah. Well, you get two guys that are really mad on Facebook that are upset about not racing.
That's what I'm saying.
Versus 15 or 20 in each
or
class
more.
or more. You know
or,
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you did race and it was you know, a subpar track because of the rain and you had to fight that. You know, I don't know. I think it was just a all around good call.
Yeah.
To cancel. I think we would have gotten hammered on. Unfortunately, that's the way the weather works sometimes.
Yep. But
you know, that's. Hopefully, we get a better forecasts ahead, right?
Yeah, let's hope. So we can get back to some racing.
Get back to racing.
Maybe
It
under
was
some
have
sunshine
a little break in the work. You know, because it is relentless. We're at it every single day. It gets behind. We get behind in life, and you know, just taking care of stuff around at the house, and sometimes and going.
Yep.
You know, we're racing 3 nights per. You know, 2-3 nights a week, every week.
Yep. It's tough on families
It's tough.
too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
As a family, it's tough.
Yep.
You know, like I said, I get behind on things. I gotta get behind. Got behind on cleaning. I had to clean out the podcast room, sweep and vacuum and everything today because we hadn't done this in so long. I'm like
cobwebs.
No, not so much cobwebs, but my husky hair, bash hair everywhere. I'm like, oh man. But you know, those are some of the things that kind of get overlooked. You know, pots and pans. We got to do some dishes. I believe that's. I'm sure.
You had Mahaney over?
No, I'm sure that's where the pots and pans nickname came from. Was from the one Mandy did a video or whatever, and it was like summing up their winter break or whatever, and it was. Every time she wanted Mike to do a TikTok or whatever, whether he was doing dishes. I think that's where the pots and pans came from.
I never
so
actually
we got
that.
to catch up on the pots and pans and do some dishes that had kind of been neglected for a little bit.
Kara wants to know if she can come home now. Well, we've been going for an hour.
She can come home whenever she wants. So. Just walk right in. Not like she hasn't done it before.
Right.
But yeah, we've been going for an hour here, and it was nice to catch back up. It was nice to hear about your racing and your happenings with Dreamfield Raceway. Speedway. Dreamfield Speedway. Liking the name.
Yep.
Place looks awesome. Looking forward to seeing the kids turn some laps. Maybe somebody will throw me on a cart and let me give her a try, but
hint.
I don't know. No, I don't want to race, just run around. Oh, yeah. Jackie Stanton did our wedding invitations. Awesome. Thank you. So, yep. Yeah, amongst that, we got Kara and I have been paying for a wedding, planning a wedding here amidst racing season as well. So it's just like you said, we've just been super busy, and it was nice to just get a little bit of break and get back in touch with my best man for the wedding. See him. It's been over a month since I've seen him.
Yep.
Talked on the phone and stuff, but it was nice to catch back up and have a little bit of fun. Talk to some of our viewers that have commented in.
Yep.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, with that all being said, we'll wrap this one up for this week. We'll be back. I'm guessing it'll probably be another week or two, unless we get a rain out again, and unless if we wash out all weekend and we don't have there's nothing to work on, then maybe we'll be back next week. I would guess it'll probably be a couple weeks before we're back. Hopefully not a month. But
hopefully not a month.
It's tell Brad to keep his car in one piece, keep the rubber side down, and don't have to fix anything.
We've been pretty good with that, really lately. Just we haven't really broke anything. Just regular maintenance, which is a lot to begin with.
Oh yeah. So. Yep. But that being said,
thanks
don't
everybody.
Forget Dust Pods are our main sponsor for this. We're gonna throw Dig Race products on here for this week. Champion Cartway, Dreamfield Speedway, Pitside Kart Supply,
Heinz Energy, Snake Creek Marine, and Liberty Carpet out of Halstead, PA. Plug it real quick. Sorry, I forgot. New merch, 2024 merchandise on Brad Weaver Facebook page. If you guys haven't checked it out, get on there, check it out. We got some really cool shirts designed up this year. Hopefully everybody that gets to check them out likes them and scoop them up. Get your pre-orders in. So,
and let's not forget Northeast Implement.
Northeast Implement, yep.
Yep, we got So
Northeast Implement has been sponsored us the in-car cam. Again, you get so far behind, I haven't had a chance to edit or do anything. I've gotten some in-car stuff sparsely. But, things get going, and again, I guess I forget to turn it on, or I forget to push record, or it gets shut off by the mud. I've had that happen. So, anyway, thanks to all our sponsors and everybody for helping us out and keeping us going and letting us have some fun.
Yep. I'm Brandon Clapper, and this is Brad Weaver. This is Double X Download, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everybody.